Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we are jumping in to Chrono Odyssey. Chrono Odyssey is a next-generation action MMORPG. The game features include awe-inspiring visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5, a vast and intricately designed seamless open world, dynamic action-based combat mechanics based on time manipulation, and extensive character creation and customization. Which is why we are here. This is going to be a good one, and probably a bit ridiculous, and I am obviously excited to show it off. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Chrono Odyssey, you can find some links below, and while you're down there, you can also find my links, including my Ko-fi page, and my Twitch channel, and all the rest if you'd like to support me and what I do. Timestamps will be included, so you can use those to find what you're looking for and leave satisfied. In this video, we're going to have a look at all the classes, we'll have a look at the presets available for the bodies and the faces, we'll do some randomization, full customization on both male and female characters, the outro, and then all the way at the end, some custom creations. That's it. Let's begin. First up, the classes. A few things to mention before we look at the individual classes themselves. There's no gender lock, despite what it may look like here. You can select this big burly fellow over here, the Berserker, and you can, by the way, I love the way he's just sitting there drinking his cup of tea. It's fantastic. You can make him look like this little elf lady right here, the ranger. You can make him look like that, and you can make her look like him. It's up to you. You do what you want to do, and I love that, because oftentimes in games like this, they do lock you onto certain genders for certain classes, and it just makes no sense. It's just silly. The other thing is that the system is very freeform like that. As I just mentioned, you can find all these different body types, all these different visual styles on any of these. So same situation where if I want my paladin to look like the Berserker looks right now with the massive body frame and the big burly muscles, that can be done. It's not a problem. Finally, there are only 3 classes available right now. It's the Berserker, the Ranger, and the Swordmaster. That's it. There you go. The rest will obviously be available for launch. Now, our first class. The Sorcerer. The wise discern when to strike. The hour is nigh. Sorcerers are masters of magic, harnessing arcane power to devastate enemies and support allies. The staff channels elemental energy for destructive spells, the manosphere manipulates time to expose enemy weaknesses, and the grimoire emits radiant light to heal allies. Their magic is fueled by mana, which is replenished through the endless flow of time. With greater magical prowess, sorcerers become dominant forces on the battlefield, shaping victory with wisdom from realms beyond. So, as was made clear in the description, you got a staff, a manosphere, and a grimoire, and one of them is healing, 2 are DPS. It's cool. They're all different, they're varied, they have different abilities, different playstyles. It's up to you to jump in and sort of figure out which one makes the most sense for you. Then we have the Assassin. Neither here nor there. As silent as the death they grant. Assassins are masters of stealth and precision, striking from the shadows to eliminate their targets with ruthless efficiency. The saber and wrist blades deliver precise hits even amidst the chaos of battle, while the musket deals range damage to catch enemies unaware. They draw upon vigor and bloodlust to unleash devastating blows in quick succession. Reapers of death and executioners of fate. Assassins wield the power of darkness, their musket shots often signaling victory. So they've got the saber, the wrist blades, and the musket. It's a pretty cool, and that's the word I would use here, is just straight cool selection of weapons. It's going to be a popular class. Like, come on. Of course it's going to be a popular class. Next up, the Berserker. A single heaving breath, then gnashing of chains. Blood spilt is but fuel to the flame. Berserkers are relentless warriors embodying unbridled fury on the battlefield. Chain blades pull enemies into the fray, twin axes deliver devastating blows, and the battle axe provides sturdy defense for allies. Fueled by rage, berserkers unleash relentless assaults, and further bloodshed only drives their power to new heights. Their destruction ends only when all foes fall silent. Yeah, pretty cool. Chain blades, that's a dreamboat weapon for a lot of people. Twin axes, pretty cool. And then the battle axe being a tank weapon. I like that. Like, yeah. That's straight up awesome. Paladin. Behold, The knight stands as a beacon of light, heeding the divine call. Paladins are steadfast warriors, devoted to protecting allies and vanquishing foes with divine power. The mace heals comrades and delivers judgment upon the wicked. The lance deflects even the mightiest of blows, and the halberd cleaves through enemy ranks with unyielding force. They draw upon mana, and energy restored over time, and their unwavering faith enhances their strength to cast a variety of holy auras. By executing the will of Kronos, paladins bring order to darkness as they valiantly command the battlefield. They got a lance, they got a halberd, and a mace. And these guys can be tanks, healers, and DPSs. As far as I understand from the description, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, that's just pretty cool. Yeah. Say no more. You don't need to weigh in on that. I've done it for you. The Ranger. A lonely arrow cleaves the deep as a great horde lament. Rangers are adept marksmen, excelling in neutralizing enemies from a distance while remaining well prepared for close encounters. The bow and crossbow deliver precise lethal strikes, while the rapier ensures survival in dire straits. Drawing upon vigor, a life force representing their connection to nature, they unleash devastating attacks that return foes to nothingness. Arrows that blaze as stars shall shape the fate of those within their grasp. It's cool. I mean, that's just... I gotta say, like, the descriptions here, for a game that was quite clearly translated over, the descriptions are phenomenal. Like, that's pretty great. They make you feel quite cool when you're reading these and when you select in your class. I like it. Our final is the Swordsman. A radiant blade heralding the void's doom. Swordsmen are versatile warriors, peerless in both offense and defense to control the flow of battle. The greatsword crushes enemies with sheer force, dual blades strike with deadly precision, and the sword and shield provide impenetrable defense. Their strength is fueled by rage, which flares in the heat of battle but wanes without. Swordsmen grow even stronger in prolonged combat, blade and resolve unshaken. Whether vanquishing the void or protecting their allies, swordsmen wield the power to pierce through the very bounds of time itself. Sounds like a pretty tall order to me, but it's definitely possible with these amazing-looking weapons. Surely. Yeah, there you go. So, greatsword, sword and shield, and dual blades. It looks fantastic. And that brings us to the end of our round table of character choices. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to jump in and have a look at all the face presets available, and we'll also check the body types out so you can just sort of get an idea, a rough idea of what's possible, and then I'll randomize as well so that this whole section can just be a quick and dirty look at what's possible in the character creation system. As I mentioned, it doesn't matter which one you pick here, you get all the same options on all of them. So we're going to go on the Berserker, we're going to select him, and we're going to start. These are our face presets. Again, same on all of them. Starting at the very beginning, you will immediately notice how good the characters look. I mean, they are pushing the Unreal Engine to its limits here, and that's fantastic. It's excellent. The visual fidelity off the hook. It's great. There are a few minor things that I will discuss as I go through here that I do and don't like. Firstly, I will just say that, and I'm going to talk about this as I go through the options here, it's amazing how much you can do, the variety. It's also amazing how good all of it looks. I mean, the hair looks phenomenal, at least when it's still, when it's not moving. It looks great. The facial hair, out of this world good. Amazing. The texture work on the skin, it is breathtaking in some situations. Like, it's really something else. There are, however, a few minor things that I personally noticed that I'm not a massive fan of. One thing is that the engine, it makes the outlines quite jaggy, and it also has a lot of ghosting. So if you look around her face, when I turn the camera pretty quickly, you will see that the fine hairs that she has on her face, which, by the way, some goddamn neckbeard out there is going to complain about, they leave this ghosting line in the darkness. It's not something that you're going to see all the time. It's very minor, but it makes this facial hair look like it is way more. It's a natural thing. We all have it on our faces, but it's going to make it look like it's way more than it actually is because of the way that it's rendering, because of the lighting in the system here. It's something they might want to address because it's minor, but it's still going to ruffle feathers, which is stupid, by the way. Those guys, it's ridiculous. Okay, just to say that. However, I feel like it's very easily brushed aside when you just look at how fantastic it all comes together. The fact that they can make so many unique looking characters, such a diverse cast using this system is just amazing. Truly. It's great. Now, I will stand by what I usually say. More is better. I feel they could have added more variety here. They could have, let's say, spiced things up a little more with the presets that they have, because there's so much more you can do. You would not believe. Especially with the body. Now, that's not obviously what we're looking at yet, but there's so much more you can do, and you'll see it when we start randomizing. I still like it, though. But I think that they could have at least like just doubled the amount of presets available here and then had some fun with the other half. However, fantastic selection, great starting point, and I like the way that they've handled it, because I think that they basically used this as a launch pad for you. You can come in here and you can select the different ethnicities, you can select the different styles of faces, you can select a point at which you'd like to start. And it's more than good enough, you know? It's great. So I'm happy with it. Now, if we pick one of these over here, then we can confirm it, and I will just show you what the body types look like, a few different body types. The males are more muscular. Do I like that? No. I mean, yes, I like the muscular part, I like the muscles, but I don't like that the females were left at the wayside a little bit. It's like the issue I have with it is that when you are molding and sculpting the body, on the male characters, you cannot help but have muscles. You can make your character squat like an actual barrel. You can make it round like a beach ball, and he'll still have a six-pack. He'll still be muscular. You cannot change that. There's no muscularity slider or anything like that. And the same can be said for the female characters, where you basically do what you do, but the texture on the skin is always the same. So for the male bodies, that's the general idea of what they look like. Just know, and I say it right now, you should probably check the customization sections out, specifically the body parts, because there's it's silly. It's like, it's unhinged, even how much you can change on the body. That's the male body types. Let's jump onto the female quickly. They look pretty good. I mean, yeah, they look pretty good. They offer you a lot of options, but as I said, they look softer. They did not give you quite as much to work with in terms of the muscularity. I guess it's what people want. I don't know, man. Is it what people want? It's not what I want. So I get to sit here and complain about it. But I do like it, okay? And I think that the bodies themselves do look good. I've got really very little to complain about here, right? But that's it. That's a quick look at the bodies. Let's show you her body as well. Much the same. They've got the same ones here. It's cool. Yeah. Like, good. Now, what we're going to do before we jump into the customization is we're going to randomize. I'm very excited about this because there's so much that can go right and wrong here. And they don't hold back. In most cases. I'll tell you about that as we go through here. So, as you can see, it gets interesting right off the bat. Now, the randomize is full. It's just male, female, everything slammed together. Fantastic, right? Awesome. There's a lot of options. However, they do not really mess with certain parts of it all that much. So the randomize, it is, and I hope this makes sense when I say it, it is more a cosmetic thing, where the colors are being tweaked, where the makeup is being applied, where the hair is being changed. It's more cosmetic in a sense that they are not shifting the bones around all that much. From what I can tell, they are using these faces here and they're just smacking new paint on them. Not exactly. They are moving them around a bit. You can see that they do look different, but it's not as much as you can actually do when you jump in there. So know that there's more that you can do. However, this does give you a fantastic look at all the stuff that you can do with those cosmetics. And I mean, if you look specifically at the eyes, if you look at the makeup being applied, if you look at the hair and the hair color, it's like, this is great. This is great. There's just a lot. And you can also see here, by the way, what I mentioned with the facial hair. the issue gets exasperated when you throw more shine on the skin. it's kind of crazy, actually. But it's a fantastic look at what can happen, what can be done, how much can be done, and so on and so forth. But again, it is limited. So if you want the full experience, and if you want to see everything that can be done, you jump in, you look at the customization yourself, or you watch the rest of this video, and you see it firsthand. Because, yeah, I mean, it is a robust system, to say the very, very, very least. And my favorite part about it, they let you have fun. It is unhinged. Yeah, it's a meme at this point, and that's great. That's great, because, you know, one of the greatest character creators of the past, I don't know, man, it could be even like 10 years, is Street Fighter 6, just because of the fun that they let you have with that. So, yeah, I randomize, I show you what's available, you see some cool characters here, and, man, hey, you know now. That's fantastic. I love that, man. Like that's just great. Like, that is just great. Oh god, it's perfect. And I mean, I'm not laughing at it. It's like I'd play a character like this. I'm just saying, I'd play a character like this. All right. So, with that done, with that out of the way, let us jump in and customize a character. We're gonna take this lady right here to start on for female customization. We're going to jump in on the standard body type that they give us, because we're going to do this ourselves, and we will begin. This is a pretty daunting screen here. There's a lot. There is just a lot. You start with the skin and the face shape. Now, you look at this and you're like, okay, good selection of color. Yeah, it's a good selection of colors, but it doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. They've got some interesting colors here, but like, you can just come over here and you can just go nuts. So that alone, that already just pretty much signals what their intent was with this character creator. You can go full RGB on the skin, and whenever that is an option, then you immediately know what you're working with. And we all do a collective clap and a cheer, because this is the shit right here, man. Like, this is it. This is what it's about. It's about having fun, and they let you have fun. I understand completely sometimes when they don't want to let you have too much fun, but man, it's cool to see. Okay, then you get to do your luster. So just know you can go anywhere with this. They have some preset ones here that are kind of nice. They've got a nice darker skin tone here, an even darker one, fantastic. With too much luster, it looks a little weird in my opinion. But yeah, you've got a good starting point. It's perfect. However, you can just go nuts with it as well if you'd like, right? Right, skin color, boom, done. Wrinkles, pretty nice actually. I'm quite impressed, even though they just sort of push in the opacity on a texture that they have on the skin up here. Things look like they move around, they feel like they move around, and it does honestly come across as a natural looking older character, which is great. I love that. There's nothing to say about this other than it's awesome. Then we come to our first slider. I like the way that they've done the sliders. I really enjoy these personally. They give you a phenomenal amount of control over what you can do. This is our facial outline, and it is basically the overall face structure that you can move around, and I love how fluidly it moves around. It's great. And then you can also do a protrusion slider over here, which basically just brings it all out if you'd like to. It's great. It's a perfect starting point, because that's what it is. It's just a starting point, right? Because you're gonna be moving this around, and you're gonna be like, let's go for a thinner face. We go for narrower and a little bit too short. There we go. And that's it. We like that, right? Then you start with that, and you move on. Forehead, the protrusion over here. Cheekbones. And here's where things start getting a little bit more interesting, because there's quite a lot of movement that can happen here. And you will see that when I make my custom characters at the end. You'll see some of the funky stuff you can do. Not so much movement on this slider over here. I like how it looks. But enough. Definitely enough. And at certain points, I will probably just reset the character so that we don't, let's just say, lose track of ourselves. Then we have the frontal cheekbones over here. The width, the protrusion we just had, and then the protrusion at the top. And then the formation of them. Which, once again, it's really interesting to see how it moves around there. Sort of like you got an alien under your skin. Then the lateral cheekbones. These are some very literal translations that they have. Because it's not really, I mean, like, I don't know if I'd call that a cheekbone. It's whatever. Okay, it's whatever. I don't know if I'd call that the cheekbone, but I guess it is technically part of the cheekbone that goes around here. So let's not get into a fight about the technicalities. Jawline. Very, very big deal, this one. It's a big slider that does quite a lot. Because your jawline does move around quite a bit with it. The protrusion over here. The tilt over here. Pretty good. And then we have a bunch of chin options. So this is also part of the jawline over here. You can sculpt it quite a bit. You can tilt this in and out quite a bit. I'm pretty certain, given the way you can move things around, you could probably make a phenomenal Chalamet with this. Yeah, because like when you pull it to a certain point, there you go, where you get that little chin of his, that little chin that he's known for. This one here, see? Yeah, I'm pretty certain you can do that. Then you got another slide over here for the formation of it, and again, it's something you're gonna wanna really fiddle with. Then you have chin line too. That's the further back line, and this is even more impactful with the amount it can move around. And keep in mind, you move the one around, you leave it further out. You move the other one around, you leave it further out. And then you double as far out. Just saying, in case that wasn't obvious. Right? Chin tip. Quite nice. Protrusion. And tilt. That's pretty nice. Can have it wave at you. Then the chin flab. It's just the depth over here. It's not very much that it moves, but this does move quite a bit. Let me show you. Can actually get a nice little, what is it called, a wattle? It's pretty good. And then finally you have inexplicably another cheeks tab here, where it's sort of like the other cheek stuff, it was already pretty big and a lot, but this one is more like the fat content, like the chipmunk nature of the cheeks. It's like the overall size, basically, where you can move it around and you can do quite a bit with it. This upper and lower. There you go. And that's it. So if I reset over here, that's how we used to look. Not much of a change, I know, because I took them back to the start, but it can be quite a bit. Then our next port of call is the eye shape. Once again, we are not done sculpting. There's much more, and this is even more crazy because you actually really get to move things around here. And I think that this is probably the first couple of instances where you can really, like, not so much break the game, but you can move things around quite a lot. Like, I think especially on the male side of things, you can move things around quite a lot, and it can look a little extreme. I don't see it really as breaking the game, but it's like you can actually do some very impressive stuff with how much you can move it around. I do know that if you move the eyes around a bit and then you move this around, you can get some clip in, but it's minor. It's no big thing. And overall, I am just thoroughly impressed by how much of the expression you can change with just these brows and how natural it looks, you know? It's incredibly nicely done. Seriously, very cool. So if you combine these two, yeah, you can do some fun stuff. Eye shape, the size, the overall size of the eyes. Protrusion, that's in and out. And then the position. And the formation. So I want to just tell you to focus on these eyes. It's going to be a little hypnotic, I know. But just look at how naturally they move around. And look at how subtle it is. You are getting a tilt, you are getting an overall movement, and you are getting a completely different look and feel every time you move it into a different corner here. Every time you move it, it's so naturally done. It is so smooth, dude. It is so smooth. Like, if I was to show any one point of the character creator to someone to say, hey, this is the most this is probably what I'd pick. This right here. Look at that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, it's excellent. Eye corners. Another part where I think it's really well done. Look at the shade in, by the way. So look at, just pay attention to that shadow over there. Look at that. Nuts, dude. Nuts. So cool. Yeah, just not go that way. the outer corners. And as one can expect, you can sort of really mess with this if you'd like to, by pulling all of these to the max, and, well, to the min, to the max, and just having some fun with it if you'd like. It's a total possibility. And I mean, part of me wishes that they had, like, let loose with that, with the randomization, so we could see. But I think it's fine. And then I like this. There's actually a gaze direction. You can really, like, you can go for it. What I think, the only thing that could have taken this a step further in the right direction is if they had a button you could click here to separate them, and you can have the one eye going the one way and the other way. That would have been really funny. But, yeah, pretty good. Like, decent eye options. Then we have the pupil. This is a pretty big menu. There's a lot that's going on in here. And as you will see in just a moment, you can do, again, just literally anything. So the overall style on both sides can be changed, right? So left and right, you can put symmetry on, and then they're the same. And I'll leave it on for now. Just know that you can split them. So your first choice is just the iris, and it's just the overall style of the iris itself, but that's just the first step. So you got a lot of options here, a lot of interesting ones, some that are sort of more grounded in reality, and then some more like fantastical ones, different ones. I personally really like the shiny one over here, but the amount of combos and stuff you can pull off here is just nuts. For the colors, they have some slightly natural looking colors over here, but you have full RGB once again. You can do what you want with it. Let's go for something nice and bright. I like the idea of, let's say, like a yellow, or the blue is generally quite nice. The pink is generally quite nice. Purpley stuff is nice. Let's just go for something bright-ish. Let's go for that. Okay. Then you can do the transparency over here on just the iris. So you can actually remove the iris entirely, and you can leave the outer iris that they have here and the pupil that they have here, and you can just customize those if you so desire. And it's a great option, by the way. Great option. Then you can do the outer iris shape. And this is, once again, just phenomenal because it's given you, like, the frame, basically, around the iris. And there's a lot of really cool styles here. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do, especially when you start combining the colors together here. There's just a lot. And they give you, like, all the options, man. They give you, like, the anime eyes. They give you the cool little shapes and stuff like that. I personally really like this one. And then once you've picked the one, you can actually change the color of it, and it can be what you want it to be. It's a little more difficult to, if we take, let's take a different color. It's a little more difficult to sort of show off, but let's take some contrast here. Let's go for like a bright one like that, and I will show you quickly. And if we take this one, transparency up, you can see over there, that's the outer one. It's based on the style that you pick in. You're going to be... So I've picked the color of the outer ring over there, right? So you got to really work a little bit to make them not so much look good, but to make them what you want them to be. Let's take the black over here, the black over there. There we go. And for now, let's just leave it like that, right? And then I'll show you what the pupil looks like. Pupil. My color is gone now, though. Hold on. Wait, where's my color? There we go. Now the pupil, I want to change the color to a lighter one quickly so you can see it nicely. Pretty excellent. Lots of nice options here. Very, very bright, vibrant, in your face kind of thing. Like you can quite clearly see it there. Again, though, like I'm not doing the system justice. I just want to point that out. There's so much more you can do, and there's a lot of really nice things that you can set up here. So you can go for a standard one, or you can go for a shape, or you can go for whatever you like. It's nice. It's nice. It's very nice, actually. And then the colors, much the same as the other ones. Also the transparency. You can sort of do whatever it is you wish. Let's leave it like this for now. Then you can do the left one separately, as I said, and then you can do the overall balance. So this is the sclera color, which just allows you to change the background any color you want. Literally just any color you want. And then you can do luster, which is that beautiful little reflection on there. I love it. The iris size, honestly, that looks pretty good. And you can go anywhere with this as well. The outer range. So that's the range, this is the size of just the outer one. This is the pupil. I've got a black pupil, so you can't really see it there. And then here's the iris shade color. So I'm not actually exactly sure where this applies, but I do believe that it is to do with basically the style of iris that you pick over here. It's a lot of stuff that you can fiddle with. There's just so much going on here. It's cool. Then we're on the nose. The nose. Decent options here. I was actually quite impressed. I mean, it's not the most intense nose customization I've ever seen. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but I looked at a game quite recently where I was just like, wow, I've never seen so many nose options in my life. But they do give you a decent number, and you can definitely make something interesting, something unique, and something natural that will suit basically any style of character that you want to make with all these options over here. And I'm happy with it. Yeah. It's not nuts. It's not crazy. It's not out of this world. They don't let you make like massive potato noses or whatever, which is weird, but it's fine. You know, you can go big, you can go small, and I mean, that's it. Yeah. If you add short and tall to that, you're good to go, right? You're good to go. You are good to go. Then we have the mouth. Up, down, sideways, and in and out. Now we have the nasolabial angle. Yeah. That's something. That's quite something. I didn't know it was called. I think I've said this exact thing before because I saw this in another game. It's very technical, isn't it? Upper lip. Got the angle, got the size, we got the lower lip, same thing. Mouth corners. There you are. And the mouth height. That's the corners height. And then our final stop here is the ears. Up, down. Quite a lot. A lot of movement on the ears. You can do the size. And I'm going to make it a little bigger just for the purposes of this presentation, and then you can do the angle. And I'm also going to tilt them out again just a bit so we can see them. Then you can actually shape the ear with the slider, and that's actually why I wanted the angle out a little bit so I could show you. You can do your elf ears. You can do massive ears, you can do smaller ears, and you can pull the corner all the way up, and you can do the elf ears. I'm going to be straight. The elf ears that they had in the character or class selection menu at the start, it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. I think if you combine those options with the earlobes over here, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, you can, you really can. And if you combine that with things like the angles and the overall size, I believe you can actually make some pretty interesting races here, some pretty interesting sort of fantasy representations. Like, legit, you could probably make a cool looking quote-unquote alien character. All right? And I like it. I am a big fan of the amount that they let us customize there. So I've reset it quickly so we can jump on to the next section right now. That's it for the face stuff. And we are, with that done, moving on to the body. The body options are fun. And you've come to the right place if you want fun. It starts right here with the height slider. It's fantastic. I mean, come on. What more could you want? It's just great. It's just great. If you wanted to start your game as a giraffe person, you've come to the right place. Yeah, and you can go pretty short as well. It's not... Listen. They were not trying to make this look good and make it look real and right. They just let you have fun with it. And, like, that's as big a thumbs up as you can get. I love it, man. It's just... Thank you for letting us just have as much fun as possible with this system. Here's the body, though. I know some people like to see all of it in its glory. There it is, and it's cool. They've done a good job here. Overall, the texture work, the proportions, all that stuff is nice. The amount of options, fantastic. Now, I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. I think here and on the male side of things. The way that the proportions work not quite as fantastic. The body shape, the body style, everything about the body is great. But when you start moving things around, let's just say they, they didn't adhere to any rules, right? And that's okay, because it's clear and apparent from the get-go. Now, it is part of the complaints that I had about the system, where I was saying, hey, it's kind of lame that they don't let the female characters have actual muscles. You can move these around a little bit, and you can make the character look slightly more muscular here, but it's actually just making the size a little bit bigger, and it's not really a good and natural look for it. It's like, hey, I want to make my biceps bigger, so I drag this out. Does that look good? No, it really doesn't look good. So it's not really a feasible or viable way to do things. That's basically what I'm trying to get at here. I still like the options, and I still very much appreciate that we have them all, but when I want to make my character more muscular, I don't want it to look like Popeye. Okay, I want to do it looking a little more like a human being. So it's cool, but at the same time, I think to myself, man, it's a little hard to use, especially when that happens. Like, I mean, what is this even? Yeah. So wrist options. I've never seen wrist options in a game, by the way. This is a first for me. So there you are. Hands. I do like the possibilities with the hand size and the arm sizes and stuff like that. It's pretty sick. Like, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Again, these, like, the idea of like alien characters, pretty cool. This is a set of options that I was also not too impressed by. Now, let's keep in mind for a moment, we just came off of Vindictus Defying Fate, and it's like no game can really compete with that. They have better physics, they have better proportion, they have better everything in Vindictus when it comes to breast sizes. But overall, I think this is more than enough. I don't like that you can't even really go flatter than that. Not really. But it's okay. It's fine. It's possible. It's possible. And I think that a lot of people would probably think it's more than possible, but for me, it's possible. Okay? I'm sorry. What can I say? I'm picky. Now, you've got the upper torso over here. You got the circumference over here. That's this circumference, which looks kind of stupid when you move it around. You got this thing, whatever this is, so you can look like goddamn diamond. I don't know what you are role playing as here, but it's quite something. I don't quite understand. It takes the definition of barrel chested to another level. Yeah, you got the middle torso. There you go. And then the width on it. So yeah, I mean, like, it's you could the words you could use is that you could say it's lazily done, but at the same time it's fun, so I don't really care. You know, it's like someone swallowed a clothes hanger. There you go. Now the lower body. There it is. It's the pelvis length, because that's an option. The circumference, which is pretty important, I suppose, for some people. There it is. And then the width. It's the clothes hanger again. What can I say? Thighs. It's the thigh length. Proportions on them. Circumference. Sorry, I have to turn this for that. There you go. This is from the side. There you are. There it is. Calves. Length. Circumference. Can make ourselves look like a horse. Don't know why that is, but then the feet. Size. And width. There's some wide feet. You can have wide feet. So if we reset, there you go. That's the standard body type. It is just better. So yeah. Decorations. This is actually where they put the hair, which is kind of weird that it's so far in. But I'm pretty keen for the hair. I'm always keen for the hair. The hair we will sort of, I'm not going to say breeze through, but we're going to look at all the styles. We're going to look at the colors and options and stuff. But I'm not going to go too hard on the customization here. I said before, and I'm saying this again now, I love the way that the hair looks. Just when it's static, when it's sitting there, when it's there looking good. I also love the styles that they went with. I do get bothered sometimes, again, by the way the engine renders the hair in certain places. It might just be a me thing. It's sort of like, hey, it's just a sign of the times. Maybe a sign of not quite mastering the Unreal Engine yet or whatever. Maybe it's part of the frame generation. What do you call it? The DLSS or whatever. Upscaling. I don't know. But it's not perfect. Still, when it's static, it looks pretty great. Like, there's a lot of really nice looking hairstyles. And I'm going to say this color that we have here right now is not the most flattering look at what's available. There are better colors, but it's whatever. We're looking at the styles, and they look good like this, so it's good enough for me. Fantastic selection of short styles, of long styles, of all the styles, to be honest. You're going to notice when I start moving around, physics on the hair, not great. It's like really not great, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. I personally think that some of the shorter styles look better than some of the longer styles because of that reason. You don't want it moving around too much. The male and female styles are all together here. There's no split between them. And that's good. That's fine. I like that. I'm not 100%. I mean, there might be one or two styles on the male side of things. We're going to get there soon enough. But as you can see here, no physics whatsoever on that ponytail. It's stiff as a board. But I love the styles. I love what they've done with some of them. Especially, like, this is pretty great. They've got a good selection. There's really nothing more to say. And, like, this is one of those styles that I always wish to see in games, but I never do. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There you go. And then for some inexplicable reason, they have a bunch of bald styles at the end here that I don't quite get. And I'm not sure if it's something actually changing on the head. Yeah, no, I don't know what these are. It's like placeholders or something. Needless to say, we have a pretty great selection. And because of what we are doing next, I am going to pick one that doesn't go over our face, just so that we can see what's coming. However, we'll also use this just to look at the colors, even though I think it might be nice to look at like a bigger hairstyle with the colors. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The bigger ones, yeah, I guess it'll display the color better. They have a good selection of preset colors here, and the colors are deep and vibrant. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. There's really nothing else to say. They've got good colors here. Like, this is nice. However, it's unimportant because you can do this. You can come over here and you can go nuts. And really, it is a bit of an art to find the right shades to make it really pop in most cases. But if you're unsure, just go for a nice, beautiful red. That's nice. It looks good. It's about as fitting as you can get. However, again, there's more to it than that. So if we take, as an example, the black over here, you can change the density of the hair, which is, I just want to say, this is the most stupid slider ever. It looks terrible. It looks horrific. I understand why it exists. I do. But I don't understand why they would even... It's like you can make the hair look thinner, but it's literally just changing the opacity. I hate it. There's a few games that do this, and they do it usually with the beards. I just do not like it when they do. It sort of, like, the word is actually, it like triggers me, because it just doesn't look good. It never looks good. But it's there. So, like, if you ever get here, pull it to the max, leave it there, and do not touch it again. Then there's luster, which is actually very nice an option, because it allows you to change the look and feel of your hair. Your hair can, with, as an example, this black over here, absorb the light versus reflect the light. It's nice. It's really quite nice to have that option. And it changes the way the character looks just a little bit, you know? So, yeah. For the purposes of this video, we'll just take whatever. We'll take this one. It's quite nice. And, I can just reset it again. It's like the resetting helps. It works. And then we're going to move on. Although I did want to take a style that does not cover the face. So let's just jump down here. We'll take that one. That's pretty. And we'll move on. For the two-tone settings, it's actually a very straightforward two-tone option. You get to pick a color. You get to change the intensity. And it is basically combining that color with your original color. And then you get to do the gradation, which essentially just makes it spread more versus makes it more hard lines. So yeah, it's fine. It's decent, but it's very straightforward, and I would say in most ways and shapes and forms very basic as well. So it's nice, and I believe that you can do a lot of good stuff with it if you spend a bit of time with it, but the way it's implemented is quite basic. All right? That's the two-tone system. You can turn it on, turn it off. It's good. Makeup is the reason I wanted the hair out of the face. Eyebrows. Yeah. There's a bunch of eyebrows. Yes, there's a bunch of eyebrows here. Good eyebrows. They look nice. Nothing to complain about where these are concerned. There's the notched brow I always look for, so we'll take that. You can match it to your hair color. It's off right now. You can choose the color yourself as well, and then you can do the density on them. Personally, I'm a fan of the big bushy brows, visible brows. I like it, but I mean, there's a sweet spot to be found here where you can go like 60, 70% or whatever, and it can still, it can give you the best of both, right? Eyelashes, you get to choose the style here as well. Zoom in for this. I must admit, one of the parts of character creation systems that I usually do not think much about, the eyelashes. It's like when they're not there, sometimes you notice, you know, sometimes it makes that impact. But for the most part, I really just, I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent when it comes to this. You can change the color and you can change the thickness, right? So same as before. Eyeliner, slightly different. This is actually, we are heading into proper makeup territory here. Some interesting options here, especially this one over there. You can do some cool stuff with it once again, and with combinations, there are a few that are involved here that you can use. There's transparency, and then there's an intensity slider. Intensity is the sort of darkness of the color, and the transparency is what it says it is. There you go. We'll leave some on, because why not? Or actually, no, to show the rest of it off, we'll take it off. And the same for this, just so we can see exactly what's going on. Under eyeliner. There you go. It's the same, just at the bottom. So, same options, same thing. Eyeshadow. Should actually set the intensity up for this, but still, you can see what's going on. There you go. And for these, once again, you have a wide range of colors, and you can go nuts with it. It's full RGB. Yeah. It's like a, hey, have fun situation. Then we have under eyeshadow. You will notice that we actually had some on already, by default. My favorite is always this one. I usually enjoy throwing the darker color on that and making it look, you know. Although this one, it does seem like it goes a little too far. Anyway. Once again, full RGB control. You do what you want with it. You have fun. And it's a lot, by the way. It's like, for just the eyes, that's a lot of options. Then the lips. Now, I'm going to pull the intensity, and I'll leave the luster over there. Transparency, full. Let's take a red. Let's have a look at what you have available here. They got some decent styles, in my opinion. However, I will say, based on what I've seen over the past few months in other games, and I will also just say, compared to the other options available in here, it's not all that impressive. Like, they probably could have done a little bit more with this. I like the smudged style. But, yeah, I do believe they could have done a little bit more with it. Just a little bit. Right? Maybe it's just me that thinks that. I don't know. But there's a few styles, and that's cool. Then there's an accent, and this is technically a little bit more. But I still stand by what I said, where as cool as it is to have two different options available here, it's still like I'm thinking, like, was it Dune Awakening that I looked at recently where they had some interesting styles? There's a lot that people can do nowadays with stuff like this, and it's just a little less inspired than the norm. Then we have blush. You can look at the little pictures over here to see. Another option that I really never think about. I just do not care for blush. I just don't. There's like, I don't know, man. There's little hearts that you can pick here. I guess that's kind of cool. You can put some hearts on. There they are. Why not, I suppose? Or maybe why, I suppose? And then shade in. So the shade in is actually an interesting one. This one, it's like, it's a weird thing where it feels to me like they literally letting you artificially create shadows on your face, which is technically, that's what they're doing. And it allows you to harden the lines or soften the lines. And it's cool, but you have to really mess with it. You have to take it and set the transparency and try and get that sweet spot with the right color and everything else. It's a difficult thing to use properly, so good luck with that. Then, body hair. Now we're going to breeze through this quite quickly because the facial hair on the female side of things, it's sort of like, hey man, I know a lot of people don't really want to see it. They'll probably be on the male side if they do, but we'll run through it quick and I'll show you. I'm quite impressed by the facial hair overall. I think that they've done a decent job, and I do believe that the styles, once again, statically just look great. Yeah, they have good styles. I actually do think that after looking at it a little bit, it could have been cool to have a few more interesting beard styles. And I mean, they have, no, that's maybe not the right word. Maybe some braided styles, some bigger, bushier, longer styles as well. But there's probably a reason for not having that. I would say it's more than likely something that they did think about, because they've gone pretty hard on it. Like, there are some really, really out there styles. Like, there's big, long ones like these. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I feel like they could have done even more. I don't know. I mean, I'm just a beard enjoyer, man. Like, I like big beards, and I appreciate it when games do them well. And I mean, this is, yeah, it's a good showing. It's a good showing. They have done well here. Now, for like the colors and stuff like that, same as the hair. You can match the hair if you'd like. You can do full RGB on the beard if you'd like, and then you can also do the density, which you should never do. Just leave that option. Right? Okay, good. Then, another section that I'm sort of going to go through quite quickly, because this is one of those where it's a choose-your-own-adventure thing. There's tattoos. Now, I'm going to show you what they will look like on the face here, right there on top of the nose, because they're quite hard to move around. These are the pictures, these are the styles that you have. I say they're hard to move around because the moment you start moving them, you choose a location for them. Man, it's like, it's a whole nother game all by itself. I've messed around with it a little bit. There's a lot of options for it that are available, but at the same time, man, oof, like you have to really know what you're doing with these to do cool and fun and interesting and exciting and good looking stuff. There are some that you can quite clearly see are made for certain situations. Like, these are example, they need to go over the eyes. They will look good. You can see on the side here, they would look good on the eyes. These scratches and stuff, the whole face maybe. These, the little whiskers, probably a little bigger on the cheeks, you know. These guys under the eyes as well. This is like a whole face mask. If you look at the picture over there, same for all of these. That is your vitiligo, basically. And there's just a lot of stuff here. Yeah. And you can see all of them are just small, and you can change the sizes of them. And I'll show you in just a moment. As an example, this one. You pull that over the whole face, and it will look good. I'll show you how it looks in just a moment, so you can sort of get an idea of what you can do. I just wanted to show you guys the styles, all of them, before I showed you the customization on any of them. So, lots of very, very complex styles. Texture work is great, and all the rest. But, yeah, so if you pick one of them, and you want to move them around, you can first choose the location of the tattoo. So, face, upper body, and that's here, and this is a very difficult one to work with, by the way. Right arm, right leg, left leg, right? There you go. And there's not really a system for adding more and more and more, so you have to be quite picky with this. Then you get to change the depth over here, which is just where it sits on the body. And that's why I think that this is, like, I get the feeling that they want you to add more. Like, I think this is maybe for the scars to be above it or below it. I don't know. It feels like there should have been more, but I don't know. Anyway, the position I'll get to in just a moment, right? So we're on the face right now. The depth is over there. The transparency is an option that you have, the color, and then the size. This is what I wanted to do first. So you can also rotate it, but the size, you can make it bigger or smaller. You can make it really big and really small, but for the most part, a lot of these you can sort of see what they are supposed to be used for. So if you make the size bigger over there, you move it up, you put it on the eyes, you got yourself a winner, right? And it's the same with most of these others, where if you take them, and you can see my proportions were completely off with that one. If you take them and you move them around, you fiddle with them a little bit, you can get them on the face, you can get them looking good. Boom, boom, boom. But again, you get to move them around and put them on the different parts of the body. They work a little weirdly in the different parts, and I sort of lose them sometimes, like when you go, as an example, over the sides like this. However, with the fact that you can only apparently put one on there, I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird situation anyway. I'm not sure why they have all these options for it. The colors, they shine through quite nicely. Like, you can make literally any color you want. And yeah, I mean, you can have fun with this. There's just a lot. There's just a lot, right? There's just a lot. So, there you go. Now if we back it up, now if we back it out, face scars. Not a big fan of the system that they have for this, mainly because you have to do it all yourself. So they give you these rough patches, they give you the scars, and then you gotta shape them, you gotta move them, you gotta position them yourself where you want them, and it's okay, but I believe that it would have been cooler if they just gave you the preset locations and you worked with that. So you pick one of them. Let's take this one. You do the same options as the previous stuff, where you can move it around, you can make it bigger and smaller. It's just quite difficult to work with, in my opinion. It might just be me that struggles with it, I don't know, but it's quite difficult to work with and to make it look really good. But that's the way it works. And as it stands, the body scars, exactly the same, except on the body. Right? Exactly the same. There you go. Next up, the piercings. And this is actually one of our final options. Some alright choices here, as you can see. Not super varied, not super crazy or anything like that, but hey, some alright choices. And then that brings us basically to the end. We can now jump onto preview. Big fan of this. They let you look at your character that you've just made in different sets of gear. Big fan of it because the gear's cool. Like, yeah, it's just a good look at what's available in the game. It's just cool looking. It's cool styles. It's a fantastic peek at what you could potentially have in the future. They give you the same ones on all the classes, so you just get these, and that's that. I'm not sure if each of these is tied to a certain class. This one looks a little much, a little bright, but yeah, it's nice. I personally really like this one. The physics on the cape, way better than the physics on the hair, obviously, seeing that there's nothing on the hair. But yeah, that's it. And honestly, looks good. Yeah, looks good. Now, with that said and done, we're actually going to jump back, all the way back, to our preset menu, and we're going to start on this fellow right here. We're going to start on male customization. So, your first option is the body types. We've looked at this before. You can pick whatever you like here, but you will get to customize it much more when you actually jump in. So, here we are, jumping in. Your first option is in the skin and face shape menu, your skin color. This gives you a good look at, let's call it the intent of this character creation system. It sort of signals right here at the very start what is going to be happening. Shit's going to get unhinged. That's what's going to be happening. As you go through this, you will notice that things start getting weirder, and then you land on this color over here, and you're like, ah, yeah, okay, I see. But that's not it. This is it. You can go full RGB. And it's just fun. I never say no to this. Ever. Ever. It's just fun. I love it. They let us just do what we want to do. They let us be creative. They let us just run wild. And while I am not going to run wild in this video, I might at the end when I do my custom creations, I like the option to run wild. So thank you for that. Thank you for letting me run wild if I'd like to. Then we have a luster option here. It's more visible when you have the darker skin tones, but it's good to have once again. It's nice to be able to add that little shine to your skin, right? Next up, wrinkles. And I'm not sure if this is the character. We can reset quickly. That's this. He had a paler skin tone. The wrinkle intensity slider. I think it looks better on the female characters, but it still looks pretty good here. Makes the character look a little older. You can modify things. You can change things. You can sort of, fiddle, and that's good. I believe that your best bet, however, is to pick the preset you want in the previous menu. Come in here and fart around to find what you want. Because I believe on the males, there's more variation. In other words, it's harder to make the characters look like you want them to look. There's more you can do. The females, less so. They're all very attractive, even when you make them less attractive. So, facial outline. This is our first look at the sliders. Quite cool. I like the system that they have here. You can really move things around. I love how fluidly, how smoothly it moves around. It's really nice. It's well done. It's just well done. Protrusion of the entire face, basically. Very, very, very smooth morphin. I like it. I think it's very satisfying to fiddle with. And then on the forehead. There we go. Cheekbones. It's the upper cheekbones here. The width. Protrusion. And then the formation. That's basically just looks like we massage in the upper cheekbones here. Then we got the frontal cheekbones. That's under the eye. The width. And it's a lot, by the way. So, it doesn't look like a huge amount when you're moving them around like this. But when you combine all of these, it can get pretty nuts. Then we have the lateral ones. These are on the side. All the way on the side. Where I feel like it's more like the temples, almost. But below them, it's a weird spot. This, it sort of almost moves up to the temple. This is it's a very weird, I don't know why this is even here. Then the jawline, a pretty big option, to be honest, because, again, it's one of the more noticeable things when your character has a big, sort of chiseled jaw. And this also allows you to do a bit of the cheeks, make your character look slightly more gaunt, if you like, and so on and so forth. The protrusion over here. There you go. And then the tilt. That's it. Chin line. Also part of the jawline, very much, where you can sort of move things around here. You can make your character look pretty significant, well endowed where that is concerned. And I like that. I do. And I mentioned on the female side, you could probably make a pretty nice Timothy Chalamet, just based on the nice chin size and shape here. It's pretty clear. Then we have the chin line too. That's the upper chin line, I think. It's kind of hard to say. But it's a slightly back and higher version of the chin line. Again, the options are a little weird here. Then we have the chin tip. These guys really like changing the shape and the size of the chin. It's it's probably what they have the most for. It's they have a billion options here, and then when it comes to the nose, they've got 3 options. I don't quite understand it, but it's whatever. Then the chin flab, because that was already just not enough. Down at the bottom here, you can do the depth of it. And this is a pretty nice one, actually. It's cool that you can change that, make it bigger. And then the cheeks, which we've already changed a bit with all these cheekbone options here. But, yeah. There we go. Pretty cool. And now, before we jump onto the next one, I will just reset and show you how things have changed. Barely. They've barely changed. I was good. Sometimes I forget them and I move them off by 3 or 4 on each of them, and then your character ends up looking just a little weird. Now, the eye shape. Probably one of my favorite parts. Just because of how much it impacts things. So, you can really set the tone with this. And it's one of the things that I love about it, is that when you jump in here and you move these around, you can really set the mood of your character. You can be concerned, curious, angry, sort of stern looking, or neutral, if you'd like. And all of it comes together, once again, just to allow you to make a pretty unique looking character and face and expression and all of it. It's fantastic. This is probably one of the more important menus, I would say. Then we have eye shape. Some of the most fun you can have here as well. I really like these. I stopped for like 5 minutes when I was doing the female customization when I saw this for the first time. It's like a boat sailing across the sea. You know? I love it. I love it. I love it. Then you got the corners. These I'll go through pretty quickly. They are very big options in, let's just say, when they're all combined, right? But on their own, they feel quite small. It's just when you take the whole, when you've moved it all around and you take that end result, then you are left with quite a drastic change. And then this gaze option is quite nice as well. I dig this. Let's not mess this up and put it where it shouldn't be. Yes, exactly right. I'm joking. Sorry, I'll reset him quickly. There you go. Next up, the pupil. So, quite an interesting part once again. The options that they give you here, good. Lots, many, varied. There's an asymmetry option. I'm going to turn it off. You can do it. Just know you can do one, then you can do the other. Go for it. You can sort of have an eye that's not working. You can have an eye that's a different color. You can have a Sharingan or whatever that stuff is called from Naruto if you want. Yeah, man, you do you. Okay? You do you. For the purposes of the display here, we are just going to go for them both at the same time. Your first option is the iris. I kind of suck at this customization. I just want to put that out there. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it, but I am not very good at doing those cool things. I will show you as best I can. I will give you an idea, and you will just have to take it the rest of the way. There you go. Take a basic one for now. Then you can do the color. Pretty impactful, obviously. Let's take red. You can do full RGB. You can do the transparency on that, where you can actually just completely hide the iris, which is cool. Then there's an option for the outer iris. That is the shape around the iris, and you are legitimately changing the entire shape. It's like a pattern that you're putting in there. It looks like we are creating our very own scary dream catcher here. Yeah, man. Yeah. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. And honestly, it's one of the sections in this whole thing that I feel will allow for the most creativity. That's how I see it. For real, you'll be able to do some cool and fun stuff with this. And once again, with these, you can do the transparency of it, and you can change the color of it. So it's a little bit more difficult to see the colors and stuff here when you are changing it, but you can. It's cool. It's cool. However, I think for the purposes of this, we'll take something that's on the outside. So we'll take like, let's just take this one. Then the pupil shape. You guys know what the pupil is. It's in the middle. A lot of cool shapes here. A lot of cool options. Some that are, I'm not going to say realistic, but some that are recognizable, and others that are just fantastical, and it's all nice. There's really no downside to giving more options here. Honestly, they probably could have given even more, where all of this is concerned, and it would have not been out of place. But yeah, you can do anything, and you can also change the color. This color applies well. This color you can see, and you can go full RGB with it anywhere you like. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And then you can do the transparency on that as well. Right? Then you've got the overall balance. And for this, I'm going to reset it quickly. I'll zoom in and I'll show you. This is the luster. It's like a reflection on it. The iris size. So you can basically make it disappear or make it a little pinprick in the middle or whatever. Then there's the outer iris range. We don't have an outer iris on, but basically that just makes it bigger and smaller. Then you can do the pupil size if you'd like. And then you can do the iris shade color. I don't quite know what this is. I've tried to figure this out, but I'm not entirely sure where it's changing things. And again, for those that perhaps want to, you can do asymmetry if you like. Then, onto the nose. For the nose, not that many options, honestly, which is kind of weird because, like, given the amount that we have for the other stuff, yeah, I expected more. But you got the sliders, you got the protrusion here. You got the bridge options, you've got the tip options, and you can move them around a lot, and you can make it big and small, but you can't go to the extremes with it. Which, again, I kind of expected the extremes in this case, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, there's still a decent number of options, and I'm not about to complain about it. That's pretty cool that you can do that. There you go. And then you're on the tip. Yeah, not bad. The mouth. Up and down. Wider. And then protrusion. The nasolabial angle. Upper lip. Lower lip. And finally, the mouth corners. You can change the protrusion, the height on the outside, and the height even further on the outside. Yeah, it looks good. Then another good part, I feel, of the entire system, I like this a lot, the ears. You can change the position, it moves around quite a bit, and the size is huge. Like, you can go as big as you want on it, which is a fantastic option to have. For the purposes of showing this off, I'm going to leave the size big quickly. You can change the angle. And then you can actually slide it around a little bit, and you can make those elf ears you've always wanted. You can sort of go anywhere you like. I'll be honest, I do believe that the elf ears they have in the menu, where you pick in the classes, is they look better. It's a different look than this. You can do the earlobes as well, though, if you want to make it sharper down here. But I believe that you can probably do some fun stuff with this, with slightly more alien-looking characters. And I'm a fan of it. I like when they give us more to work with. And, I mean, this may not be a realistic thing, but it's definitely a fun thing. So, I'm a big fan. I'm all in, you know? I'm all in. And that's the last of our face and skin options. So now we're going to move on to the body. This part, I was more impressed, I suppose. Like, I want to say I was more impressed by the female options, because the male body, I feel like the muscularity here, it sort of throws things off. But as you can see, you can go nuts with it. You can go very big, very small. You can make the head very big and very small. And with that said, it's not the end. When you start changing everything else here, it all comes together to be pretty substantial. Pretty damn substantial, as you can see here. And they didn't really take much care with these options. In other words, you have certain games where the changes are natural, right? The changes are changes that look like they make sense anatomically. They are correct. These changes, not so much. No, not really. No, they are comical in nature, and that's good. It's fine. You can have some fun with it. But I do believe that no matter what you really do here with the male character, the muscles stand out. You can't make yourself slightly, like, you know, let's say overweight or larger. And you can't really make the muscles bigger or smaller, because it just ends up looking weird when you do that. You know? Like, there's always some clip in somewhere or some texture work that's a little broken somewhere. So while I really appreciate the amount that we can change things here, I still believe that because of the way it's done, it ends up being a little, you know? So it's cool, but that's basically where I'm going to leave it. I mean, I've never seen wrist options before, which I'm a big fan of. It's nice. Hands. Definitely seen hands before, but these are some of the nicest hands that I've seen, like especially if you go all the way to the biggest or all the way to the smallest. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Upper torso. And this just, like, once again exasperates what you can and it's like what you can and can't do. Like, you combine the upper torso options as an example with the main body size, and yeah, you can go pretty extreme. Like legit, you can go crazy. But again, the fact that they let you push it just that little bit too far, it is both fun and a little ridiculous. However, I think that they're missing literally just the one thing, and that's the muscularity slider. That's the one thing I think they really should have had here. Now for the lower body, once again, you can move things around quite a bit. It's your circumference, obviously. Your width. Thighs. There you go. There it is. lower thighs, and then the calves. It's pretty big. It's like Popeye calves, you know. And then the feet, which is kind of an interesting option. Like, you know, the hands are there, so obviously you're going to have the feet as well. You can make them pretty big, and it's cool. It's a good option. I'm going to reset quickly. There you go. And I mean, yeah, I'm still a fan of the options. I just believe it's kind of a weird place for it to be, you know? So, next up we have the decorations menu. This is the hair. The hair options here, I have said a lot about the hair already, and I will just say most of it again, and I'll say some more here. I like the hair system when it's statically displayed, which for the most part it is. There are a few things. I don't like how grainy it looks in certain places, but that's part of the engine and part of the rendering, and I think it's part of the upscaling system that they're using. Not a big fan of that. Never a big fan of that. But I'm also not a huge fan of the way that they've done the physics on the hair, where certain styles have like a teeny bit of physics and other styles have literally nothing. They should have just gone one way or the other with it and called it a day, you know, because it's like, it's just a little weird, you know. Otherwise, however, I'm enjoying the variety. I'm liking the fact that they give us all the options on both male and female, and to be perfectly honest, there are a lot of options, and they've really got a lot of nice long styles and short styles and interesting styles, you know. They don't hold back with it, and that's just a win. There's no two ways about it. It's just a win. There are a few options that are mandatorily required to be on certain. I'll show you in just a moment when you get there. But I mean, overall, the whole system is quite nice. That's like The Witcher. We kind of look like Cavill's Witcher. I bet you could make a mean-looking Witcher in this. People are going to be very creative with this. Me, not so much. I won't be so creative, but I'll try. You know, I'll try. Again, lots of nice options here. Good styles, long, short, and everything in between. Then a bunch of bold ones here at the end I'm not quite sure about. Nice. Yeah, we'll take this one for now. And I'll show you how the colors work. So, full RGB, as you'd expect. And it applies very nicely and very much gives you a perfect one-to-one of the color that you pick in. I like that a lot. No complaints here. Absolutely nothing. I think that if you are smart with this and you are meticulous with this, you can probably do some really cool stuff with it. Now, there's a density slider here, and this is one that I believe should always be just on the max, because what it does is you can make the hair thicker or thinner, and I believe it just looks kind of stupid when you pull it down, because like when you look at some of these longer styles with a density, it just makes it look worse, and that's part of what I didn't like about it. When you pull it to the max, it's more substantial. It doesn't have that frizz around the edges. And, like, what the hell is the idea with having an opacity slider on hair? I just don't get it, okay? So put that on max and forget that it exists, because it makes everything look better. It makes the colors look better. It makes the texture work look better. It's just better. That's it. Then you've got a luster slider over here, which gives you basically a shine on the hair. It's a bit much when you put it all the way to the top, but, yeah, it's alright. It's alright. It looks good. Like, it's nice if you can just set it a little bit of the way there. Then we have two-tone options here. It's a very simplistic two-tone set of options. You can do the intensity of it, which basically spreads it further or less. And you can also do the gradation they call it here, which is basically whether it is a straight split or if it's smoothed. And yeah, I mean, overall, you can do some interesting stuff with it. If you want to throw some salt and pepper in the hair, if you want to throw a splash of color in the hair, this is definitely where you come for it. As an example, if we take like a green there and we take like a black here, you can make some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's cool. However, once again, it is something you're going to mess around with, and you're going to be able to sort of either master or just forget about and leave. But again, I do believe the density slider needs to go to the max. Then we have makeup, and for the male side of things, we'll still go through this, because there's some options here that are quite relevant, but we won't spend too much time here. Now, the eyebrows, they look good. They just look good. There's yeah, there's a bunch of good options here. Bushy brows, smaller brows, more sculpted. There's nothing more to say. I like them. Good brows. No matter what you take here, I think it looks pretty decent. You can match your hair color on them, and you can change the color if you so desire. Right? Then there's a density slider once again. And here, I'm actually okay with it, because it works a little better. It actually looks decent when you slide it around. It adds more strands of hair, and it's a natural way of doing it. So, I'm a fan of that. That's a good place to use the density slider. Thank you. Eyelashes. We have a few decent options for eyelashes here. No real complaints. I mean, it's good. Eyelashes are good. Then you can match the hair color once again, and you can change the actual color to whatever it is you desire. It's quite a small thing. You can also do the thickness to max or less. Again, a good showing of the thickness slider, unlike the hair. Eyeliner, and we'll leave it on the default for now. For the eyeliner, there's some interesting stuff here. You can see they have some on by default. It just looks good. You know, it makes it look more natural. And they have some sort of slightly more out there designs. They are, you know, they're interesting. It's sort of like a halfway point to tattoos and markings, but not quite, you know. And you can change the colors on them. You can change the transparency on them and the intensity. Intensity is basically just the vibrancy of the color, and the transparency is the transparency. Then there's under eye eyeliner. That's quite a subtle thing, apparently, because I've got it set off. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. There we go. Just choose black. It's just not showing for some reason. That's really weird. It was working for... I see it on the top there. Like it's sort of applying over there. Okay. Well, look at the pictures. You can see what it looks like. I am not entirely sure why... Ah, there we go. I was on the wrong side. Okay. So. Perfect. Decent options once again. You will see there are some match-in ones. You know, if you take this one and then the third to last one on the previous set, then, yeah. They'll match up and they'll look good. I mean, that's up to you whether it looks good or not. I don't know. That's up to you. Eyeshadow. Quite nice. And it's something, again, that can just look natural, you know, if you take a good one. Or you can do some more interesting stuff with it. Make your character look more tired. Go a little more crazy with it. Have a little bit more fun with it. And for these, also, you get colors. As you can tell. Transparency. Luster, which is the shininess, and then the intensity, which is just how dark the color is. There you go. And then under eyeshadow, this was actually on by default on some of the female presets. Also quite subtle, but can be used to great effect. As you can see over there, that one as an example, if you set the, is it the intensity? Transparency, there you go. Intensity up, luster. You can do some fun stuff with it, especially if you change the color. Yeah. Little much, but, you know, the idea remains that you can use it. Then for the lipstick, we are going to select one quickly, and just keep in mind that there's a combination here. Intensity up, transparency there, and luster we'll put in halfway. There's a combination here, so like basically you use lip base and lip accent together to get a style, and it can be quite good, or not. It's up to you, I suppose. You got some smoother styles, some smudged styles, some clown styles, and yeah. Then you take that and you combine it with the accent, which is this one. That actually looks fine. We can go through them like this. These are different, obviously, like, you know, different styles that you can do. And, yeah, you can make something pretty interesting. Not as great as some other games that I've seen recently, but it's fine. And then, one of my most hated menus is blush. I never get blush. I just don't understand. But there are people out there that use this to great effect. Me, I'm not those people. But there are people out there that can do it. There's little hearts over here if you want them. There's this whole top face thing. It's sort of like Furiosa or whatever. And then you can change, obviously, the transparency on them, the luster on them, and the intensity on them. And you can do anything with it. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tool, much like everything else here. Then there's a shading menu that I'm not 100% on, but I believe that they put this here for you to frame your character's face in a certain way, shade it in a certain way for it to look a certain way. It can be used, I think, to great effect. You know? It's like there's a light shining on you from a certain direction all the time, and you can leverage that if you so desire. I believe it's one of those really difficult things to use, though, and I caution against it. That's all I'll say. Now, facial hair. On the male side of things here, we're obviously happy to look at this. This is one of our main ports of call. There's a density slider that I once again just do not enjoy. It sort of makes it transparent. I don't know why they even added this, but I guess you can find a use for it. I'm putting it on max. We're looking at these on max because it makes it look so much better. The hair, facial hair styles here, phenomenal. They have a great selection. I've currently got it matched to the hair color. They look awesome. They have a lot of different styles. They have smoother, sort of more wavy styles of hair. They have slightly less so. They have harder ones, harsher looking ones. They got the curly ones. It's cool. Yeah, they've just got good combinations here. And then the styles, they look great. I think I said on the female side of things, it would have been cool to see a couple of like braided styles or more longer styles, bushier styles. But I think that overall, they really do cover pretty much all the bases that need to be covered. I'm not going to complain. Like, the beards look good. And, you know, oftentimes the stubble and the shorter styles look terrible because they just clash too greatly with the skin. Not so much here. Like, really not so much here. I'm quite impressed by how well they've done the stubble. And again, the longer styles, like, I'm not going to sit here and complain because this is quite a long and big and bushy beard. That's the biggest you can go along with this one. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So it's cool. I don't think that they need to really worry about more variety here. It's more than enough to make a character the way you want to make it. It's cool. There we go. We'll pick this one quickly. Can match... Oh, that's matched to the hair color now. Right. Match to the hair color. Or you can change the color to whatever you like. Full RGB once again. Looks good. And then the density, as I mentioned. Don't touch that. just don't. For the purposes of the video, we're going to take this off because we're going to be looking at the markings on the face now. This whole section's a little weird. The body markings are the same as the face markings. It's all the same. It's all in the same system here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the dude's face right here what they look like. I can show you on his chest as well. I think I did that wrong, I feel, because it looks better, I think, if you just show it on the chest. I didn't realize that. Let's go down a little. And then we set the depth. There we go. We'll show it right here. I'll show you all the styles, and then I'll show you how you can move them around. And I just want to do it like this because when you start changing the sizes, then it starts not so much falling apart, but it starts getting harder to keep them the same, the scale right. So you can take all of these and you can stretch them any which way. You can move them around any which way. However, as far as I can tell, and maybe I just haven't found the option somehow, you can only have one. So you have to choose very carefully where you want to put it. You can make it really big, but you can only have the one. There are some that you can quite clearly see based on this here, that they belong, like, as an example, these are whiskers. Those are for the eyes over there. Those probably go under the eyes. This is a whole full face mask thing. This is basically your vitiligo option. There's a lot of different uses here. They're not all just meant to be thrown on the face and left, you know? So I'll show you how in just a moment and how it looks. But there's a lot of detail on some of these. Like, they look phenomenal. The texture work is insane. I'm really not sure. The game's performance, questionable at best, I'm sure, with all these, like, insane options. Unless maybe they don't show it on other characters. I don't know. But if we pick one of these, as an example, this one over here, and we apply it, and we move it up to the face quickly, then you will see that if I go down here and I change the size, I can put it at a position where it would fit quite nicely over the eyes, and then you will see that's what the design is meant for. Not exactly like that. It's a little off, but that's the idea. There's a depth slider here which makes me think that they wanted multiple slots, but they didn't add it. And then you can pick face, upper body, which is where we had it earlier, right arm, right leg, left leg. That's it. Right? Pretty cool. It's a good system. You can change the color. And the colors are, once again, just quite great. They look good. So, no complaints there. The transparency. And as I mentioned, you can stretch the size out to, well, comical proportions. Right? Then you can also rotate it. There you are. It's good. It is good. Then, face scars. These are much the same, where it's a sort of find your own adventure system. They give you the face scar. It's like the suggestion of a scar, where you have to try and figure out how to use it. I don't really like it. I believe that with these, they should have just given us the scar in the right size, the right scale, the right shape, whatever, instead of giving us a small version of it and saying, hey, fix it. So as an example, you'd take one of these and you would then change the size to whatever you want, and you'd put it exactly where you want it, and then it would look the way it looks. It can look good, it can look bad, it can be anywhere in between. As an example, if we take this one, we make it skinnier like that, we move it over to the eye, and there you go. It's just not ideal, in my opinion. It takes a lot more work, and it can look kind of bad, but hey, you know, you can customize it to your heart's content. So I feel like if you want to be critical about it, it is better this way because you can do anything, but it's harder this way. So body scars, exactly the same. So all the same scars, you just get to put one on the body. Same thing, same thing. Then we have piercings, and with the piercings, you just have like a handful of options here. No real in-between, you've just got these or you don't. They're okay. I have no complaints really about the piercings, but it's just sort of like, it seems like an extra that they just threw in there because, right? Nothing much more to say about that. And that actually brings us to the end of the customization. Now we've got the preview menu over here where you can have a look at your character in different sets of equipment, which is nice. It's a good thing if you can see what your character could potentially look like down the line. And, I mean, the physics on these capes and stuff like that looks way better than the physics on the hair. I'm a big fan. It's cool. And some of these sets just look nice. Yeah, they look good. And that does bring us to the end. That's it. We're going to jump into the outro now. As I start here, I'm just going to say there will be some custom creations. I won't put that many in, but I'll put some in there that I made for the thumbnail, just for fun, whatever. You can keep watching to check that out. Now, however, in the outro, I will just say this whole system it's quite impressive stuff. The visuals are insane, you know. There's lots of options available, and the most important thing I think that I kept pressing on here was that they don't hold us back in the least. We just get to go crazy with the sliders and the proportions and the colors and all the rest. And it's pretty much on the verge of being like unhinged. The game itself right now also seems to be a bit of a meme, and the character creator just isn't far behind. Like the funny stuff that they let you do, you know, the crazy options available. It's all, yeah, man, it's all just, it's fun. I love it. Okay. It's a robust system. It looks pretty damn good, and I'm going to have fun making characters in it. And that's that. The rest doesn't really matter, right? I'd like to, as always, hear what you guys think about the system, about the classes, about the game itself, about the options that they give us. Please let me know. Leave a comment. And hey, while you're down there, you can find my links as well. My Ko-fi page, my Twitch channel, and you can do all of that while you are giving this video a like and sharing it, because it means a lot to me. Hey, thanks for watching, dudes. Go well, be cool, enjoy Chrono Odyssey. Happy that.